Sorry about that, guys. Wrong one.
I was wondering what's going on.
Oops.
Retro Thursday. Throwback Thursday.
I hope we don't get sued for that one.
Smooth. Wait, what?
Sorry about that, everybody. Well, welcome to Thursday night. It's Guitar Town Hall with Dave Nesdall and Ben Coombs.
And the fruit fly that just shows up as soon as we're live. Damn it.
My goodness. You know, I had the cursor on top of on top of our regular one, on top of the Guitar Town Hall one, and I sneezed and my finger went on top of that. I could not. I'm mortified.
All right. I will remember to bring a memo to the advertising and marketing team to, I don't know, right click and delete out of StreamYard.
Yeah, I got to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah.
But
we got to ease back on Nightbot. You just behave. Don't be all just coming out hot and heavy.
Did Nightbot say something wrong?
Yeah, he's all giving David Scher guff for being nice to people.
Oh, well, anyway. Sorry about that. Sorry about Nightbot. It's been a little bit of a rough week for me. I have to qualify this with my dog is not doing too well. My lab Brandy, she's elderly. She's 15, and she's got some neurological problems with her back legs and has a lot of trouble walking. And she falls down, and it's. She's an old girl, and,
sure.
It's been a little taxing on the household here, and we got to make some provisions to make her life, what's left of her life, a little bit easier. Right. So my head is not really in the game today. I have to apologize ahead of time, but we will make this as fun as we can, and just wanted to give you guys and girls a little heads up of where my head is at.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Ben?
Oh, I'm doing better than you, Dave. I clicked on the right link to jump into tonight, so that was a plus. Although, I don't know, I somehow baffed my finger. I got a bruise on my finger today. Hit it on something. Probably, I was working on guitars again today, and I got burnt fingertips and a bruise, and other than that, things are peachy. More on that next week on my channel.
Okay.
So, big things happening, conference calls and upgrades and repairs. So I'm going to get to roll call here in the chat because these folks are cool enough not only to tune in, but to say hello as well. Because we know Absolutely. There's some people lurking while working.
Sure.
Talk about you, Charles 75N. He can't see this because he's lurking while working, but we know. So we've got the one and only Gear Junkie 35 in the house, Papa Blue, Terry's 3Gs, House of Twang, Janice Lala, Dwight Hitman Bailey himself, Thomas Santiago, Tim Thomas, no relation. Why would there be? Let's see. Dan of New Jersey's here. He hails from New Jersey. Guitar Man 45, the Motor City Madman himself. Timothy Lay is here. Some guy named Ben Coombs, never heard of him. Jeff Pudster, maybe, hopefully, no offense. Jeff, what's up, Jeff? Jeff with 2 Fs. David Scher, some guy named StreamYard. Oh, David Scher, dang, thank you. And Mark Effects, but thank you very much, David Scher, appreciate it.
Yes, Billy thank Baloney. You so much, David. Really appreciate that. Now let me put that up there. That deserves to be up here.
That does.
Absolutely.
Mahogany in the house.
Very nice. And we got more people coming. We have more people coming. So I figured we'd talk about a few things tonight, but I wanted to talk about the significance of the Stratocaster, if that's okay with everybody. I thought, it's been around since 1954.
Yep.
And my God, it's Leo Fender.
Continuously since 54. Can't say that with all guitar brands. Some have been here, went away, and came back.
Very true. Very true. It's a guitar that, first of all, Leo Fender got it right in 1949 with the Telecaster, with the Broadcaster. He got it right the first time.
Everything but the name, right?
Yeah, and it seems that lightning struck twice in 1954 when he came out with the Stratocaster. Now, let's start with the Telecaster. As we all know, I'm a huge fan. Ben is a huge fan of the Telecaster. 2 pickups, one piece of ash. Well, it's usually a seam in the middle, but it's a solid piece of ash with a maple neck in 1949, 50, 51, up until about 59. It's ash and maple.
Yep.
Really.
A great tone combination of woods that Leo hit upon, because if you don't know, folks, he was not a musician, but he was definitely a tinkerer. And I'm going to give you a slight correction. I'm going to say, wouldn't the Stratocaster be his third hit? Because the P bass, the precision bass.
Very true.
Beyond game changer, because before that, basses didn't have frets.
Yeah, very true.
So I will say, that combination of those 2 woods put together with a single coil pickup, magical. And you can see the progression from the Telecaster to the Stratocaster, and the fact that guys are like, I'm rubbing my arm a lot here. He goes, well, I can fix that. I'll give it a nice little contour. And some of us would like a little relief in this area because I might be a little more rotund than, say, my keyboard player. Leo says, I got you covered. Don't worry about that. I can't really use all the frets that you provide to me, Leo. Do you think you could hog out above the neck as well as below and more? We can do that. Sure.
Yep.
Have you heard of these things called Bigsby's? Nope, but I'll make my own.
That's right. Well, let's show one of these things off. Now, you have one right behind you, and I have this one here. This one here is what it would look like in 1954. This is a 55, but it would virtually be the same guitar. A couple of differences. In the first 15 or so, the serial number would be right on this plate right here, and not on the neck plate.
Smart move to move it. Little did we know nobody would keep those plates on them after a certain amount of time, right?
That's right. On the first year, 1954, the knobs had short skirts on them. The jack looked like a little football. The pickup covers were Bakelite, and the covers were actually rounded.
And we should also mention a 3-way toggle switch. It was never meant to have 2 pickups played at once. That's
correct. There was a 3-way toggle switch. Again, ash, maple. So you can't miss with this combination. The tremolo is the first time that well, actually, it's not the first time that we see a tremolo on a guitar, but it's the first Fender tremolo.
Exactly. His design, a very mechanical design. I always appreciate that. I was like, that's straight out of Popular Mechanics. I get it. You look at a Bigsby, it's all curves and wizardry. We don't know what's going on there. But I was like, that makes sense. This, with retention underneath. I took a lot of shop class in high school, and blueprints inside that. That makes sense, like from an engineering side. Should have called it a vibrato and not a tremolo.
Yes, it's more of a vibrato. Well, you know what? They call it a vibrato as well.
Well, it's because he messed up with the naming on the amp effect. He's like, that's a vibrato. No, that's a tremolo. That's tremolo. That's not vibrato. Vibrato's pitch, Leo. He goes, whatever. I'm selling stuff. I'll change the name. It means nothing. God love him. Love Leo Fender.
Yeah. Honestly, arguably I'm not going to say the best guitar ever made, but probably the most popular guitar ever made.
And possibly the best balanced guitar, because it's one of those where you grab it right at the neck heel. It doesn't tip one way or another. It has got to be one of the most, which over time, you don't realize it until you're playing one standing up, especially over a period of time. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm not, because you're not having to compensate for a neck dive or compensate for a tail dive.
Yeah. Dan of New Jersey, I'm absolutely 150% sure that this guitar is not Alder. This is Ash. They started making Alder in late 1956, but 54 and 55, the guitar was Ash. Hey, T. Ricky.
Yep. And it was more like the Ash was used for the Tellys than Alder more for the Strats. And
yeah, absolutely.
And you could get either or for either or model. You could get an Ash Strat and an Alder Telly, but they were much more rare.
Yes, you could special order even in 1956 or 57. You could special order an Ash body. Mm-hmm. They were making them an Alder by then.
Yep.
But you could order an Ash body. It would be an upcharge, of course. I don't know, probably $30 or whatever, which is today's money is no money, but back then I'm sure that was a lot of money.
What's up, T. Ricky?
I think this guitar went for about $275 in 1975, in 1955 or 54, maybe a little bit less.
And again, as a cost thing, fits in the same guitar case as a Telly.
It certainly does.
So they're like, you know what? Let's just make a box, and we'll put a big old glove box in it, so you can put your strap, your cable, everything in there. Because before that, guitar cases were generally very form-fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes it a little lighter, but it does make it much easier to load in or out of a place.
Yeah. Yeah, generally speaking, when I was gigging, I wouldn't take a hard case anyway. I would take any guitar I used in a gig bag. It's smaller, it's easier to put away. It's just, but I'm glad they came with hard cases.
Yeah.
And you could also get them from Fender with gig bags as well.
Mm-hmm.
Back then. But yeah, this was the guitar. They really over the years, over the decades, they really haven't changed it up all that much. I mean, why don't you grab your guitar and show that one off, and we could show the differences between the two, and that's a more modern.
Off the top of my head, David, I'm thinking 2, possibly 3 differences from the original. Well, okay. No, wait, 3, 4. And I'm not going to count the saddle difference from the stamped to the block.
Right.
They were doing that throughout, But the biggest noticeable differences, folks, the addition of the 5-way switch, which they started doing in the early 70s.
I think they started doing that in like 71 or 72.
I think that was part of the revamp with the 3-bolt and the bullet truss rod, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Another big game, they increased the diameter of the fretboard radius. They went from 7.25 to 9.5. Mm-hmm. Again, around the same time.
Flatter radius. Yes.
Yep. And the more modern bridge, which would be a 2-point as opposed to a 6-point.
Yes, this has a 6-point.
Yeah.
Which basically is 6 screws. And those are 2 posts.
And generally, and you can get both nowadays, depending on which line you buy or because there's literally a dozen different Strats available by Fender. And some of them have still the modern bridge with a cast saddle, 2-point trim, as opposed to Dave has the 6 screws and a stamped steel saddle, which a lot of tone hounds prefer the stamped steel style.
Yeah, I prefer myself, yes.
Yeah. I actually like these a little better. One, they're a little easier on the hand for the palm muting. Less likely to need a neck shim because they're such a thicker thing that the height adjustments are in the way. In adult, it does darken the tone, because I find Strats a little bright for my liking. So I'm okay with the darker saddles. What's up, Doc?
Right.
Keith Campbell, iRock Zed Blues, Bozique. You guys carpool? There's a whole bunch of people out at once.
Yeah.
So,
30 people watching us
that,
at the moment.
I guess we should mention, even though neither one of us have it, is they did give the option of a rosewood fretboard in what?
Correct.
Late 50s?
Well, in 1959, they gave you the option. More times than not, you would get a rosewood fretboard, and the maple would be a special order from 1959.
Now, they did do some things that didn't take, which would be the oversized headstock they went with in the 70s and the 3-bolt neck. For a while, they did. They got rid. They went back to the 4-bolt.
Right. The oversized headstock started in 1966, and it stayed with the truss rod adjustment down here at the heel.
Yeah,
until
design
1972. 1970, well, maybe 1971. I believe 70 was the last year that the truss rod adjustment was down
here. 71 still has it there.
Okay, so
yes. As you know, Dave, they go year to year, but leftover stock and stuff. It's like there's that gray area of when did they exactly go with the 3-point backing plate? Because some people will say 71. I was like, well, no, my 71 still has a 4. But that could be because they were getting rid of that stuff. And it could be that, let's say, by September of 71, they were, in fact, switched over to the 3-bolt setup. We weren't there, is what we're saying.
Yeah, I was just born.
Yeah, so. Yeah. But although they did add the micro tilt feature, which I think is great because you don't need a neck shim. It's built-in neck shim.
It's okay unless you over-tighten those neck screws. And if you do that, then you'll have a big hump in your neck when you have that tilt thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We're don't use the air impact gun is what we're saying, folks. Maybe use a hand-based tool. That'd be a smart thing to do. Other than that, the block itself, the trim block stayed pretty consistent, I'd say, Dave.
Yes, I don't have mine.
You don't hear about people that are like, oh, the 50s ones had this, little thin blade. In the 60s, they put a huge block. In the 70s, it was somewhere.
No, not at all.
You don't hear about that.
Yeah, in fact, all the vintage guitars basically have the same block. Yeah. Everything with this tremolo still has the same block, and the string. There's lots of string in the block, which is good. The ball end sits at the very outer edge of the block, which is what you kind of want. That it gives you more sustain. It's just a better. It's a more well-made block, I believe.
I tried to drink the Kool-Aid, and I put the old bullet ends on this thing for the first time ever. I found a pack and tried it. I'm going to say the Kool-Aid tastes good, Dave. I did notice a slight difference in it. It was a little better with the bullet end strings. Now, granted, cool. I'm not paying 20-30% more for bullet ends if you can find them.
Well, the thing with the bullet ends is when you take the strings out, it's a little harder to get them out.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is that. Yeah.
But there is
they do see well.
There is a little more continuity between the string and the block and the tremolo with the bullet string.
Excuse me.
With the bullet.
Other than that, they've messed around with output levels over the years of pickups, and it's funny enough, they're right back to where they started. They've actually gone back to a very low output. Like I've seen some of them where they're as little as 3.5K. And for a while in the 90s, they were basically putting up humbucker stuff as 7K output, single coils.
Yeah. They've definitely gone full circle. I think people want to hear the sound of the wood of the guitar more than they want to hear.
Glassy sounding. Like I couldn't believe I was blown away. I forget which professional series, the Pro 2s, and I was just, wow, this is so glassy. And then the guys, they're only 3.5K output. So,
actually, someone just said. Someone here, what's up, Doc? Said, looks like he tuned in for the right show. He just bought the new Player Plus series Strat in Bel Air Blue.
Yes.
What's up, Doc? How do you like the guitar? Tell us how you like the guitar.
Randy Crooks is here. Mike Johnson's here. Wayne's here. And iRock Zed Blues, if you haven't seen already, I did reply to your email reply, and this time I included the photo. Because he's like, hey, you got some Boss pedals for sale? I'm like, yeah, I'll send you a photo of them all. I didn't include the photo, Dave. Like I had one job. I failed.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Guitar Samurai 1, how are you?
Magic here.
So this is what it would have looked like from 54 to 55, 56, 57. 58 would have had a 3-tone sunburst. This is more of a 2-tone sunburst.
Right. What would be the first year that they started painting them?
I believe 57. No, I'm sorry. 56 would have been, they would have started making Mary Kay blonde.
Right. Okay.
1956.
I was trying to remember, yeah, because and then it was like literally that was the only paint option, and then Fiesta Red would have been the next one, I guess.
Yeah, the reds, and then the blues and the greens. But I did see one blonde Strat made in 55. My buddy Dave had it at his store. I think it was the prototype of that color. Was done in 55, put out in 56, but I guess the pots, everything on it said 55 on it because it was a prototype for the first for the NAMM show of 56. So the first color other than sunburst was 55, but there was only one to my knowledge. And I recently got a chance to hold that guitar. It's beautiful, which you would think it would be. So
I like
there's
the
that. Oh yeah.
iRock, because you tuned in like 5 minutes too late on that one. Dave said, what was it? 66 was the first year of the large headstock?
66. Yeah, 66.
And then it died out around 79, 80.
Well, they went to a slightly smaller. The Dan Smith Stratocasters were slightly smaller.
Okay.
But not. They still didn't look like this again.
Right.
They were a bit bigger than this, but smaller than the large headstock. And then in '83, when they came out with the Elite series, which was when they started making them in America again.
Right.
They came out with the normal sized 50s.
I think the Elite started in 82.
Okay, well,
I think 81, 82. I know I saw a restoration or repair on an 82. Those things,
I thought they were 83.
Abomination. I don't know. Like they had the dummy coils, love that idea. But then how like the spring trim was like under the pickups, but inside the guitar. So if you looked at from behind, it looked like a hardtail, and you're like,
it looked right. It wasn't even. It didn't even look like a hardtail because there was no, string through the body.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was
just
weird.
A solid piece of wood.
Yeah, it was weird.
But I did own one of those guitars, and it was cool. It was a cool guitar. I don't know why I sold it. I think I was offered a lot of money. This is a long time ago.
We have the one and only Jimmy Ka in the house.
Yes, Jimmy Ka's here. How are you? Bo Zeke is here.
Robinson. He has about 10 Strats. And the same birthday as Leo Fender. Perfect.
It's all good. Yeah. So again, let me get the guitar that you would have seen in the 60s. Well, starting in 59 through the 60s. So take over for a second. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay, I'll take over. Hi, how y'all doing? Some of my favorite Strats. That green sparkle, like Dick Dale played, that was pretty badass. Love that. like the Fiesta Reds because it reminded me of Campbell's tomato soup. Warm soup on a cold day. What's up, Michael B? You're hello, lurking, and working. What's up, Fruitcake Tony? The one and all. Yeah, that's the one. I like those.
So this is this particular guitar is a Fender custom shop. The other one was a custom shop as well. Team built. This one is a master built. This is made by Jason Smith, the master builder Jason Smith. This is what they would have called. This is Dakota Red, but this particular one is faded Dakota Red.
Mm-hmm. So it fades into that Fiesta almost because it's got that creaminess.
Actually, this is more pink than anything.
Yeah, it is. It is
because there's more blue.
Got a touch less orange in it.
Yeah, there's more blue in the red than orange.
Yeah.
But this is what you would have seen starting in 59, late 58, early 59. Brazilian rosewood.
No skunk stripe.
No skunk stripe. Still 4-bolt neck, of course. The tremolo arm, the arm itself changed in the 60s. It's shorter and straighter, whereas the arm in the 50s was a little bit longer and more bent. Bent this way. Yeah. And the other thing with the guitar in the 60s, in the 50s, the neck came out of the neck pocket a little more, and the pickups would be out taller. Everything was close to the body in the 60s. Right. They kind of sunk everything into the body.
Get those pickups down into the body so they're not out in the open air getting all frequencies and stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it actually, I mean, it really resonates nicely. It's just great. The whole thing. I'm particular to the rosewood fretboards as well. So 59 to 62, it was called a slab board. And if you see the end of the fretboard, it's a big slab. It's kind of cut flat on the bottom, and it's a big piece of rosewood.
Yeah. Just before
middle of 62, what they would do is they used what they called a veneer. And instead of it being flat on the bottom, they made it the radius of the fretboard made the fretboard really, really thin.
Yeah. See you, Wayne.
I guess it was a way to save a little bit more money.
Oh, yeah.
Was it better? No, it was not better. But back then, people weren't really getting fret jobs. People really weren't planing their fretboard. Nowadays,
that's why Leo made it a bolt-on, right?
Yeah.
Your frets get dented, we'll just sell you a new neck. There was no fret. Why would you want to refret a fender? It's just getting a whole new neck.
Just get a new neck back then. But nowadays, necks themselves.
Yeah, and everybody's like, bond with the neck. It's got to have the right neck. It's all about the neck. And Leo's like, I build all my necks the same. Just deal with it. And you're like, yeah, but you don't, Leo. Yeah, I do. No, you don't.
It depends on the day and whoever built it that day.
You can give me a C neck or a V neck or a U neck. He's like, no, we just have necks.
Sorry about that. I keep forgetting that there are two of us here. Sorry.
There's two of us, yes. No, I am not just the voice in Dave's head. People are going to start calling me Kazoo.
Yeah. Hey, Kazoo. Very funny. The great Kazoo.
And I should mention also one other change they did over the years is the frets themselves are much larger than they were in the 50s.
Yes, they were very small in the 50s and 60s. 64, 65, they got a little bit bigger. You can get factory big frets at that time. But still mostly you got these thin frets. Nowadays, these guitars come with tall thin frets. They're 6105s, which are taller. I generally like big frets, but as long as they're tall, where you can grab the string and you don't feel the wood underneath your finger, that's basically what I needed to have.
Well, you played the bejesus out of that for a decade, Dave. Give it 3 recrowns and then talk to me because those frets will be just worked in right for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's what they how they do the lower frets, because I think part of it was producing more guitars, Dave. So the frets weren't quite as perfect initially, so they had to get a little more aggressive when leveling the frets post assembly, and that's how we ended up with a lot of fretless wonders, which is not just a Gibson thing, believe me.
Yeah, it was definitely every guitar company, depending on who's doing your fret work,
Yeah, I think fret height is relative, like neck shape. There is still some individuality, if you want to say. DMAC got a Ventura 70s hardtail. Oh, I am jealous. Player Series Strat and a Squire Affinity is what? Wow, that's 3. Okay, Godin Session HT, which is Godin's version of a Strat. Yeah, they're great. Osplay argument, the best Player Series and a lot less money. Yeah, I love that you can actually get something other than the bottom of the line. For a while there, the only hardtail Strat you could get, Dave, was a Custom Shop or the Starcaster. Those were the only two. I'm like, why? Sup, Tom? You are coming in hot.
Coming in hot, 30 minutes late. Hope this covers the damage. Well, hell, you just are perfect there, my friend. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I'm happy that there's a mid-level, because they don't even do like an American, well, now the American Professional used to be standard hardtail. For a while, for a long time, you could still get the hardtail option. Usually it's a special order because no store's like, I'm not going to carry a hardtail in case Ben decides to buy one.
Right. Well, you could also get one if you got the Robert Cray model, which I think they offered made in Mexico. They offered it made in Mexico, made in America, and Custom Shop. So they made it in 3 different places. I think just your color choices were depending on where you got it from.
And I think for a few years, I want to say in the mid, like 2004, 2005, Ronnie Wood may have done a run of hardtail Strats to mimic his. Like, not the same relic and stuff, but it was, where they do a signature guitar, but it's essentially a production guitar with their finish.
Sure.
So it was basically like your first Strat you showed off, except it was a hardtail.
Yeah, and in fact, Ronnie has 2 of those. They're both 55s.
So
he's got 2.
I want a hardtail Strat just for that reason, because Ronnie Wood.
Oh yeah, they sound great.
And blocking a trem is not the same. You know that, Dave. You remove that much material out, even with that metal block in there, it's not quite the same.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the same.
Bozique's got a bunch of Strats, an Elite Strat, an Ultra Strat, 2 modded Mexi Strats in my collection. Loves the Ultra neck. Feels like a pre-Wizard neck. Yeah, it's got a compound radius, which I like too. Yeah, give me a little more curvature down at the cowboy end. And then you can flatten it out for your Ingwe stuff.
Right. When I used to get my Strats refretted, because I've had several Strats, and I've always gotten them refretted by Larry Fitzgerald. I would leave the cowboy chords 7 1/4 inch radius, and then I would flatten it out around the 10th fret.
Sure.
I would start it going at a 9.5, and eventually get up here to 12 at the end, or a little under 12. And my God, you could bend the guitar in any spot, the whole fretboard, and it wouldn't fret out, and have the lowest action in the world.
Well, Magic Man's got a 14-inch radius on the Strat.
Yeah, that's a little too flat for me, but still, I can understand it.
You can play all.
I can understand if it's your main guitar, you want to be able to do acrobatics on it. I can understand.
I would think that would feel very Charvel-like, that guitar.
Ben Tom says, David Nesdall, will you and some of the other music industry guitar experts that know a lot about guitars ever do a photo book on vintage and or celebrity guitars and your experiences with them? That's a great idea. I've had that idea In fact, I was going to do with our friend Anthony Sajazi a few years back. We were going to do a coffee table book on all of Eddie Van Halen's guitars, and we got Eddie Van Halen and Matt Bruck. We talked to both of those cats about it, and Eddie had said that it's a great idea, and if I wanted to do it, I could do it with his blessing, but it's not going to be official because he was going to do one when Van Halen was done. So I wanted to make Eddie a full-on partner when the book came out. All I wanted to do was be able to photo, go to 5150 and photo the guitars and publish the photos so that I could make the book. And
because then you can have the Eddie Van Halen guitar collection by Eddie Van Halen with David Nesdall and Anthony Sajazi. Because let's be honest, every time you buy a autobiography, it's always like Peter Frampton with some dude that you haven't really heard of, maybe. Well, that's the dude who actually wrote the book.
It's the dude's book, but he got Peter Frampton involved because
which is generally
fact and not speculation.
I'm going to talk your ear off, Peter. I'm going to ask you questions for 10 hours over the course of X amount of visits or whatever. You tell me your life story, and I'll put it into prose, as they say. Ooh, look at me getting all fancy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so doing a book is definitely on my radar. Getting the permission to photo a lot of these guitars is not as easy as you think. Of course, I can go to my buddy Dave at Well Strung Guitars and take photos of all of his guitars and make a book like this. But the problem is some of these guitars that he has are owned already by someone. And I'm saying very few, because most of them are Dave's.
Logistics.
Most of these guitars are owned by a few people that just may have not picked them up yet. And you can't, it's someone else's property at this point. But I'll talk to Dave. Are you okay, Brandy? Relax.
That would be the logistics issue. Like I'm saying, like if you want to do 50 famous guitars, sure.
Yeah.
At least 30 of the 50, chances are the guitar is still owned by the artist or a family member of the artist if they've passed on. And they might be a little more open. But a lot of the famous guitars that we would all want to see in a book are owned by private collectors who have no interest in opening up their home to some dude with a camera.
Well, that's the thing.
They want to be anonymous.
I agree. A book of just vintage guitars. There are many books of those.
They're cool, but a lot. I was going to say a lot of places, and I think even someone I want to say Grunz did a book back in the day because they had so much stuff coming through. It was not hard for them. Well, here, shoot the Platinum Room, and there's a book, right?
There are several Stratocaster books. There are several Sunburst Les Paul books. There are several Telecaster. There was one big Telecaster book by Nacho Banos. But I think the books that people would be interested in are celebrity-owned guitars.
Yeah. Which the closest thing to that we have is Bernie Marsden has a great book. Of his collection, so it is kind of famous, but they're not all ones that he was famous for playing per se. Sure, the Beast is in there, and stuff like his double necks in there, but he's been collecting guitars since the 70s.
You'll have to excuse me. My Brandy is roaming around, and she's going to fall any second. So I'm just trying to. Ben Tom says he wishes the Ziff brothers would open up their burst vault. I mean, yeah, of course, but it's never going to happen. Just never going to happen. At least not in our lifetime.
Tom says he knows somebody who saw the Florida vault. I was not there. Was
the
it RJ?
Vault, the Florida vault was moved from the Glen Cove vault, which where I live. That vault was in a school, an abandoned school here in town, and that was amazing. But it's no longer here. Do you hear the clicking behind me? The feet clicking? She wants to walk. All right, I'll let her walk for a minute. Poor thing.
Very nice, very nice. So I see a lot of people mentioning Strats in here, which is awesome. I love to see it. When we bring up a guitar, tells me we have a great group of folks because they just confirm that they're all awesome. Because we bring up tellies, a lot of guys are like, "Yeah, I got a telly," and bring up Strats, and then you have that same percentage. Oh yeah, we got Strats.
Yeah,
we do a Les Paul episode. I'm sure you're gonna get a bunch of people. Oh yeah, I got a Lester Paul fist sitting around.
Absolutely. 335s and stuff. Yeah. A lot of these guys have at least one of each.
Yep.
Whether they be Fender, Squire, Epiphone, whatever, they have one. Usually these guys and girls have one of each, which is cool.
Doesn't matter to me what you have as long as you got it.
Yeah. So where was I? The book, if we do a book, it's on my radar, but the one that I wanted to do was squashed while Eddie was alive. He squashed it a few years ago. I think it was around 2014 or 15 that I wanted to do this, and he said, by all means, go ahead, but I'm not helping it. And at that point,
you do a coffee table book on guitars, Dave. Do not do an audio version.
Well, how can you do that unless it's got
this
video?
One looks nice. Well, this one looks nice. Ooh, look at that one.
Yeah.
What's up, Laz?
Hey, Laz. So yeah, the fact that Eddie said go in peace and do it, how could I? Because I don't want to do a coffee table books of the same 5 or 6 guitars that everyone does. The Frankenstein, the 5150, the Main Music Man, blah, blah. I don't want to do the guitar book of the guitars that he uses on the road because everybody knows about those guitars already. I want to go into the vault and look at everything else he has.
Exactly.
And
it doesn't matter what it is because it's all cool. Because then you have the best of both worlds. No pun intended. Because Eddie did collect vintage gear as well as he has all this playing stuff. So it'd be really cool. And especially if you would have had that interaction where I actually used this recording. I never used it live, but I recorded. And it could be something like the bridge of a certain song, just because whatever, like we know we use single coil guitars on certain tracks. So stuff like that. You never know. Yeah.
I would really like to do a book on Joe Bonamassa's collector gear, which is all in the LA, the California, Nerdville.
Right.
It's stuff that generally we don't see. The guitars that he shows off and then he has been showing off on YouTube are his toolbox guitars, which are the ones he takes on the road, which are still ridiculous guitars. Mm-hmm. But the ones that I would like to do a book on are the ones that don't have any fingerprints on them, the ones that don't have any scratches on them, which he has he's got a big collection of guitars.
See what's up, Doc.
Take care. What's up, Doc?
Yeah. And I remember like a few years ago him saying like, if you see me playing something live, that means I have a double of it, basically. Like, if he only owned 159 burst, it wouldn't be on the road with him. But if he owned 2,
it probably would. It probably would be on the road, but it would be, what he tends to say is a player instead of a collector. But his player guitars are most people's collectors' guitars. If you're going to own those.
Yeah, because he's got all the stuff with the hang tags, all those case queens, call them. The ones that Here, Jimmy, I bought you a guitar to play. Gets a 59 burst for his 12th birthday. Took 2 lessons. Couldn't stand it. Under the bed it went. Jimmy moves out. Mom and Dad praised Jimmy. So Jimmy's room did not change, Dave, in 45 years until the parents moved on. you know?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden clean out Jimmy's room. He's like, oh yeah, I had this guitar 40, 50 years ago. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're out there.
Bozique says celebrity net worth has Bonamassa listed at $25 million, and he thinks 20 million of that is guitars and gear. Well, I think he's worth a bit more than that, because not only does he have all that gear, but he's got 3 homes. So, you know, he's got to have some money. He's got to have some liquidity. Other than that, other than just the guitars.
Yeah, because Guitar Safari is not fun.
I think that's what he's claiming. I think that's what he's claiming is $20 million or $25 million. But I think he's got a bit more than that.
Mm-hmm. Especially now. You think with the gear market, how it's exploded in the last year, and the value of stuff, as everything's gone through the roof? My God.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Ben Tom is right. I don't know that it's 9 or 9 out of 10, 9.5. I don't know if it's that clean, his player stuff, but I'd say it's a solid 8. I would imagine his player stuff is like a solid 8.
Yep. What's up, Mayhem? Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, how you doing, man? Got to say special thanks to Terry 3Gs for moderating the show tonight.
Yep. It's keeping all you ne'er-do-wells in line. Not you guys, but you guys. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that. Sure.
Guitar Man 45 is going to see Bonamassa next week.
Nice.
Tell him I said hello.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Well, we're about halfway through the show, so I'm going to get to my newest little fancy thing. I saw a video on today for my Lust list, Dave.
Yes, the Lust list.
I believe it was released today because, you know, that's the way I work. If I see the video for the first time, I assume the pedal came out today. And I think the video came out today. Greer Amps, which I know you're a fan of.
I love Greer.
Released a new pedal today called the Sure Shot, the Clipping Boost, 1-knob mini pedal. And it reminds me a lot of the Choya Boost that Lawrence built. It's basically an amp right at breakup, and then you give it more and it breaks up. And it's a great boost. Sounds great. Very warm, very well-rounded. RJ Ronquillo put out a demo. Shameless plug to RJ. Check him out. You guys all know RJ. He did a demo today, and he played it with single coils. He played it with humbuckers, and it's nice. It'd be great. It would be great hitting into another overdrive, or it'd be great at the end of your signal chain as a lead boost. Yeah.
Very cool. Do you have a picture of that? Yeah.
How do I do that? I can do a screen share thing. So let's bring that up. All right. If I go over here and I hit share screen, Chrome tab, there.
Oh, hang on. Let me get it up here.
So this is the Sure Shot by Greer.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. So just
Looks
one
cool.
knob. Yeah. It's not germanium, apparently. It says here. Is it high headroom? Nope. Germanium? Again? Nope. Who wrote this? Me? I'm just curious. Who they have doing the demo? No, they.
I'll be right back.
Those are good people. Yep, we like them. Oh, there's RJ. So watch this video, folks, if you haven't watched it already. Just saying. We got a whole variety, but RJ's the guy. And look, he's playing in Nags with a string butler, and you can't really tell, but he's wearing a toque. So, you know, if you're wearing a toque in a demo, that just makes it much more worth it. But it sounds really cool. I dig it. There's something else on my list. Oh, what's the Boss Octave? The OC2? Something like that. I want one of them. If anyone's got a Boss Octave that they want to trade, let a guy know and we'll work out a deal. That's what I'm saying. Magic Man's asking, anybody familiar with the Tone King Falcon 10-inch speaker combo amp? Yes. I believe I tried one at a show. Sounded quite lovely. Of course, I was playing a Duesenberg into it. That might... No, played a Friedman into it. Friedman guitar, that's right. Spring Butler does sound all fancy schmancy. I agree, Tom. Thank you, Mayhem. Mayhem's a mod too, apparently, because he can put links in the chat.
Didn't know yes. That. Yes,
there's a link to RJ's demo. Check it out after we're done tonight, folks.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, the Boss Octave pedal. I want one, Dave.
OC3.
That's it. Yeah. I want one of them. Every, I don't know, 4 months when you hear the outro solo on Drop Dead Legs, I'm like, God damn it, I need one of those Boss Octave pedals.
Yeah. It's very, very funny you say that. I just listened to the Mitch Malloy and Pete Thorne version of that song the other day. And wow. my God, was that a good, they did really great. I saw everything that they put on YouTube. That it was great. Really great.
And that was a virtual amp he used. What was he
no
using?
Kidding.
Yeah. One of those digital gadgets. He had a few, like he did have a Phase 90 and an MXR flanger and stuff like that. But then he went into, I'm sure Tom knows. I can never remember which one it is. It wasn't a Helix.
Was it an Axe-Fx?
Wasn't an Axe-Fx. Oh, it's not terrible. It'll come to me once Tom messages me.
Absolute Mayhem asks a good question. Random question for Dave. Any of my guitars artist signed? No. I don't like autographed guitars.
That's right, DMAC. Quad Cortex. Thank you.
Very cool.
I knew I hung out with a bunch of these guys in Pete's chat on Sunday, so I knew one of them would remember, because apparently I don't.
Oh, very cool.
Hey, Fake 59.
So I don't have any autographed guitars.
At this time.
I don't like them because I generally like to use my guitars, and after a while the autographs wear off.
Right. Well, I mean that because I know you have owned autographed.
I have owned autographed guitars. I've owned autographed guitars that Eddie Van Halen has autographed for me personally. I've owned a bunch of autographed guitars. Steve Vai's autographed guitars for me. But I, at this point in my life, I'm not a big autograph guy. If I meet a celebrity, usually I become pretty friendly with them. So,
well, I say you might want to check a few of your guitars on the backs of them every time Larry Mitchell leaves your place, because he might just, this one's for me, To Larry, all the best, Dave. You're like, I didn't write that.
It's funny. Celebrities tend to give me guitars instead of autographs. Thank you, Randy Crooks. He says, here's for the entertainment and knowledge that you disperse. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So it's a weird thing. I don't generally like asking for autographs either. I had a perfect chance to ask Andy Timmons to autograph his guitar when he played it at the Iridium 2 years ago. And he said, would you like me to sign your guitar? And I said, honestly, no, because I enjoy playing it. And once the signature goes on it, I won't want to play it anymore. And he actually respected that. He was like, man, I dig that. I understand. And I just generally don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I would say also, if people have had the inside of a control cover signed, that I'm cool with. Or like if you say, hey, Andy, you happen to have a Phillips screwdriver so you can pop the pick guard off and you could sign the underside of it, that's a little different. And then that's more of an Easter egg that's in there.
Bozy, thank you very much. This has got to throw a few bucks in too. You guys effing rock. Fake 59.
No, you effing rock.
Yes, I do have photos of the guitar that Eddie signed. I actually signed two of them for me. And I'll show you the photos if you just give me one moment. I've showed them before, and I'll show it again.
Mm-hmm. I have a few signed pieces of memorabilia, but again, I'm more like, yeah, if I get a selfie, I'm happy, with them.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that, a photo, and then I can use it for a thumbnail if I ever get them on for a hangout or something. That's
here
why
is the
selfies.
Here is the Wolfgang.
Nice. That's a PV Wolfgang, is it not?
This is a PV Wolfgang.
Mm-hmm. Thought so.
And this is the very first Frankenstein that I ever made. And he signed the back of it because he was embarrassed by it. It was very funny. I remember his exact words were, "Why would you want to make a piece of shit version of my piece of shit guitar?" And I said,
that sounds like Eddie.
And we both got a laugh out of it. And he says, "Do you want me to sign this too?" And of course I said yes. But it was fun. It was fun. I don't own either of those guitars anymore, but
good question.
It was cool to have them.
Well, you were briefly away. Magic Man was asking for thoughts on the Tone King Falcon, which is a 10-inch speaker combo amp by Tone King. And it says good amp, and he's playing, I don't know, 1,500 or 1,400. It seems a touch pricey, but
well, wait a second. Is it a hand wired amp?
I don't know if Tone Kings are. Well, they're made by Boutique Amps. I know that's who makes them. I don't know if they're hand wired or not, but they're made in California.
Well, I mean, they could be on a circuit board, but are they hand wired to the circuit board?
Right. That I'm not positive on. But yeah, like they're built in the same spot Friedman amps are built. So I'd imagine they're built to the same spec.
And I think $1,400 is probably fair market price. I don't seem to think that it's too much money. My boutique amps that I get from Rock and Roll Amps are 40-watt 112 combos. They're hand wired, but they're hand wired onto a circuit board. But the circuit boards are done all by hand as well, and they're about $1,400. So I would imagine a name brand like Tone King is fair market value for that amplifier.
Tom asked, does anyone have any remedies for a pinched nerve in my shoulder? Wish I did, bud.
Other than Tylenol, get a massage. Massage will take care of it. Take a hot shower or hot bath and lay in hot water for a good half hour. And that should
all the heat in there.
Yeah, that should relieve it a bunch. That happens to me a lot. So when I find that happening, I just hop in the shower, even if I've already taken one. I hop in the shower and just spray hot water on the area for a while.
Janice has 2 signed guitars. Cool.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yes, one of the reasons also that I don't like autographed guitars is because, I tend to sell my guitars to get better ones, or I have in the past. I haven't so much lately, but I have in the past. And when you sell an autographed guitar, it does not bring any more money and usually brings less money than if it didn't have the autograph.
I think it would have to be, basically it would have to be a signature guitar, because chances are if someone's buying a signature guitar from you, they're a fan of that artist. So, when you're like, a signed Wolfgang works to an extent, Fortunately,
well,
Eddie has his own company, but like a signed Zakk Wylde Les Paul, for instance, signed by Zakk would be good. But just a random Les Paul standard signed by Slash, it's not quite the same.
Right, and let's call a spade here. If Jimi Hendrix signed one of your guitars, it's worth a lot of money.
Yeah,
a dead guy like that, especially an innovating guitar player like Jimi Hendrix, say Eddie Van Halen, if he signed it, if he didn't personalize it to you, but it's just if the guitar has his signature on it without "Thanks for everything, David" on it, it's worth a little bit more money considerably, because he's now not here anymore. But just say Joe guitar player that's for all intents and purposes, and I don't wish this on anyone, but just say, I don't know, David Grissom passes away. Some of you may not even know who David Grissom is. He's one of my favorite guitar players. He played with Mellencamp. He played with Storyville. His band Storyville was with Double Trouble, Steve Ray Vaughan's band. His songs are amazing. He's a great songwriter, great guitar player, wonderful. But if he passed away and he autographed your guitar is not going to be worth that much. It's just not the same.
Yeah. It's pretty much that niche of being a signature guitar signed by the artist. And even then, it's, I don't know, 20, 30, 50 bucks premium. It doesn't double the value by any stretch of the mean, because it's not like it's their guitar and they signed it and sold it to you. It's just a production guitar that happens to have their signature. So whatever the value of that signature is, basically, I guess, would be the added value to the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
At best. Like say, to some people, it would take away because they don't want a signed guitar. So, but again, it would have to be, I think, a signature guitar.
The other side of the spectrum is, there are people that love getting celebrities to autograph their guitars for them. I mean, it's.
Well, isn't it similar to Dave? If you own a Wolfgang, you're at a Van Halen show, Eddie throws a pick in the crowd, you catch the pick. Chances are, if you got that Wolfgang hanging on that wall back there, you got the pick stuck in the strings, because they kind of go together. I see a few people do stuff like that.
No. Me personally, no. I would probably make some sort of framed thing and put it in a frame, or I wouldn't hang it on the guitar per se. But I do know what you're talking about. There are people. Most people, in fact, love when celebrities sign their guitars or sign whatever paraphernalia they have. And it's for the most part, I think it's a cool thing. Just personally for me, I just don't do it. I just don't do it. And sometimes I don't even think about it. Like when I meet someone,
and if you are going to get a guitar signed, don't get signed ironically. Like, don't get Willie Nelson to sign a 5150 replica.
Right.
Although personally, I would love a Willie Nelson signed 5150 replica. That would be, just because I like that weirdness. But fortunately, a lot of people aren't like me.
Yeah. In general, when I meet a celebrity, I'm usually with someone that knows these people, usually. And then I'll shake the person's hand and let it be that, because generally these people don't want people hanging on. Mm-hmm. I don't want people hanging on me, and I'm a nobody. I just like, if someone meets me, hey, how you doing? Maybe you hang out for a couple minutes and talk. And then I want to be left alone. Like if I'm going out with my wife, I want to be left alone to be with my wife. I don't, I don't want hangers around. And again, I'm nothing special. Ben is, we're both just guys that do this.
You can talk to me 3 minutes longer if you go.
Well, I mean, of course, I'll give you all the time in the world, but it's not like it's like, if I'm out having dinner with my wife, I kind of want to have dinner with my wife. I said this before. I went to the last Van Halen show, actually the last Guns N' Roses show, in August. And several people came up to me and said, hey, aren't you on that show? Aren't you David Nesdall? Yeah, I am. And shook my hand. And thankfully, it was one of those things where, hey, man, it's nice to meet you. And then they walked off. But 2015 at the Van Halen show, a similar thing happened twice. And both times, the person that met me wanted to talk for the whole time. I was like, I'm here I paid a lot of money to see Van Halen. If you want, I'll give you my number. We could talk, whatever. But right now is not the right time.
Yeah, time and place.
Some people just don't get it. you know. And like I said, I'm no one special, and it's an honor for people to actually know who you are and come up to you. But certain times it can be a pain in the butt, and it's outright
Freaks me out.
annoying at sometimes, like when you're trying to watch a Van Halen show or a Guns N' Roses show.
There's some context. It's when someone yells out my name at the grocery store. Not that I'm any big celebrity or anything, but fortunately, I don't know, there's 20 people in the area that watch me or what have you. And they hear, "Hey, Ben." And I'm like, okay, I'm wearing a mask still, in the grocery store. I'm like, how? What? How? And they come up, tell me their screen name. I'm like, oh, right on. Easy there, Nightbot.
I can't do anything. It says put user in a timeout or block user. I can't do either, Nightbot.
No, we're not doing either.
No.
Maybe you need a timeout, Nightbot.
Yeah. In fact, put user in a timeout. Nightbot is now blocked for 5 minutes.
Hey, funny. That came up in StreamYard too. Huh. Did you block him in StreamYard?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I didn't know you could do it. Well, that's a new feature of StreamYard. Cool.
All right, everybody. I just blocked Nightbot for 5 minutes. So everyone use your caps.
Nice. Thomas, you can talk away.
Everybody start using caps right now.
Yeah. Yell as much as you want. It's a free-for-all. You can use hashtags. Well, they might not go through because YouTube, but still. Hey, Charles is back.
Hey, Charles. Very cool. So we talked about strats. We talked about the significance of strats. Yep. Anyone else have any?
I'm not going to ask the obvious question. Name
that?
some famous Strat players. Lots.
Oh no!
Lots. That's like famous Les Paul player. Lots. And then you leave people out, and then we hit end show, and I'm like, oh, I didn't mention Buddy Holly, the first endorsee of the damn Stratocaster. But
that's very true. Hey Jay. Hey now.
What's up, Jay?
Anyone else have any new Lust List items that they want to talk about? Let us know.
Yes.
Be happy to read them off for everyone. Something that you just may have seen this week or last week and you lust over it, you want to get it, can't necessarily afford it, or you just haven't bought it yet, or you can afford it and you can buy it, but you just haven't done it yet. Yep. Anything.
Yeah, I'm curious on that. Fortunately, I'm up to my neck in repairs right now, so I don't have time to lust over too much stuff till you take a break while you're uploading a video and watch a demo and go, dang it, now I want that pedal.
Yes. You know what I'm lusting over? Thanksgiving dinner.
That's 1 week from tonight?
Yes.
Are we doing a show 1 week from tonight?
No, we're not.
Well, if you don't want to do...
We will not be on Thanksgiving evening.
Yeah, you'd be all lethargic. You'd be like, yeah, welcome to the Guitar Hall.
That's very true. Well, yeah, I believe my mom is making Thanksgiving and we will not be home, so I will not be at my computer.
Awesome.
So if I decide to do a show, I'll let Ben know first and see if he wants to do it.
Yeah, because I had Thanksgiving a month and a half ago, so I'm good.
And we'll let you guys know if we're going to do it early enough. Hey, Vince, how are you?
Well, that's what you're going to get, Bozique. Looking at the 87. Oh, and I should mention, because I don't know, maybe Charles or Tom or Terry remembers, on my show on Sunday night, somebody was asking about my signature pedal, the Nice Drive A. And a little bird told me that Sir Lawrence of the Pedals has enough parts to build one more. So I guess we're not sold out anymore. There's one available.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
If someone's interested, you can go to dang it, what's the website? I'll put a link. Because I don't remember web links. And that, yeah.
There it is, and there's the link.
I got a jam session again, a different jam session this Saturday evening. We're doing, unfortunately, a friend of ours passed away last month, and we're doing a memorial jam for him on Saturday evening. Various guys that have played with him over the years and friends and stuff that play. And we're going to send off Dan in fine fashion. One of his basses will be sitting there on a stand. And we miss you, Dan. So we got going on this weekend.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Leo Safko says his Lust list includes an EVH USA Wolfgang and Ivory, a Circles guitar, and a Shark. And he says he knows he has a problem.
I'm just laughing because I remember last year, I think it was, I put up a demo on the channel, on my channel, of the EVH Shark guitar. I shot the demo on a Friday
from the NAMM show.
No, they had a used one at the store in town. Okay. And yeah, I shot the video Friday, put it up Monday. Guitar was sold by Tuesday. And Wednesday, someone put, "That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Who would do that to a perfectly good Ibanez Destroyer or something, or an Explorer?" They called it an Explorer. And I went, "Guitar's already sold." So obviously somebody likes it. But this guy,
imagine the person doesn't know who Eddie Van Halen is.
That's what I'm thinking. And I get it. Like, if you have no idea who Eddie Van Halen is, if you saw the Frankie or the Shark in particular, you'd be like, "What the? Are those turnbuckles? Like, what did,
Yeah.
Like, how is this worth, or the Frankenstein? How is that worth any money?"
Yeah, piece of garbage. Right. But that piece of garbage is probably the most iconic guitar ever in the world.
Yep. Yeah, because any other guitar you can think of a handful of players that played that one guitar, but nobody else played that guitar.
I don't think I'm being a fanboy when I say that. I really do believe that the Frankenstein guitar is the most iconic guitar in the world ever. I mean, yes, every main guitar player has a guitar that they've played that is an iconic guitar. Clapton had his Blackie, or the Red 335. Jeff Beck had the Esquire. David Gilmour has the Black Strat. Mm-hmm. The Edge has the Explorer. Every guitar player has their iconic guitar. Jimi Hendrix, the white Strat that he played Star Spangled Banner on. Mm-hmm. I think I'm not sure if he calls that guitar Isabella or was the black one Isabella. I can't remember. But yes, all those guitars are iconic and they're worth bazillions of dollars. But the striped Frankenstein, I think, is the most iconic guitar ever. Yep. If you didn't know one song by Van Halen, or if you've never, if you don't know who they are, if you've never seen what Eddie Van Halen looks like, you never heard his voice, you see that guitar and you know it's Van Halen. It's just synonymous with Van Halen. So that guitar, I think, is the most iconic.
Let's see. I saw here somebody had asked. DMAC saw RJ's video on the LPD Soleil Fuzz. Was that a limited release? Yes, and I have one. It's his take on a fuzz face. I'm not going to tell you, DMAC, that Bent Tom here in the chat has of them, but maybe he'd want to get rid of them. I don't know.
Unless he has pedal boards.
Well, there's that. No, I think he's running literally on either side of a pedal. I don't know what he's doing. And then somebody else had asked, let's see. Oh, there. Jeff. He was asking, any good acoustic pedals worth buying? Well, if you go on the old Jungle website, I believe, this one's made by, I can't even read it, but it's cheap. And this is a little, acoustic, the AC stage. Yes, you're not going to focus. There we go. There we go. Tom's line. Acoustic guitar simulator. And this thing is pretty cool. You can do a piezo, standard, or jumbo, as well as if you're using the neck or bridge pickups in guitar, makes a tonal difference. And this is really neat. I dig it. I really like using this. So I'd recommend picking up one of these because, they're probably like $50-$60 on Amazon. So there you go. That's my my recommendation.
Not bad at all.
You were quick on that with the camera work there. I saw that. I wasn't sitting there alone for 10 minutes. I love you.
No, not at all. I was just wanted people to see that better.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was showing it off to a buddy of mine the other day. I'm like, want to hear me turn my guitar into electric? He's a beginner player, and he didn't see the pedal. So he's like, what the hell? That sounds like my jumbo. I'm like, I know. Oh, okay. Tom's loaned out one of his to a friend in Nashville.
Very cool.
Is that a 12-step program, Bozique, or a 12-note program?
I want to talk really quick about. I think you guys and girls all know I'm a huge Tom Bukovac fan. For those of you who don't know who Tom Bukovac is, he is probably one of the most recorded session players in Nashville. He's on countless records. He does the homeschooling videos here on YouTube. He is one of my favorite guitar players. I talk to him from time to time, and he has a record out of some of the songs that some of the ideas that he has turned into songs from his videos, and it's really good. And he also has another record out with Dean DeLeo from Stone Temple Pilots. Ooh, cool. And the name of the record is called Trip the Witch, or the name of the band. It's called Trip the Witch. I recommend getting both of these records. They are so good. The musicianship on both of the records are so good. The guitar tones are crazy. There's only one song on the Trip the Witch record that has vocals on it, and it's John Anderson from Yes.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So if you're not into instrumental music, maybe it's not for you. But if you like guitar music, my God, it's good. It's really, really good. So nice. I would check both of these records out.
What's up, Cushman? Definitely. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Check those out. Yes, I think Book was playing with heart.
Yes. Ann Wilson. Not Hart, but Ann Wilson. Yeah, he did the last run of shows with her.
Right. Yeah, because Hart isn't an entity these days. The sisters, I think, are still butting heads.
Yeah, correct. Vince, I know we keep kind of threatening to get you on here, Vince. I need to get you on here, man. We need to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Tom is correct. Bukovac is the Tommy Tedesco of this generation. That is absolutely true. And not only, yes, is he in Nashville? Yes, he's Nashville. But he plays everything. Every style of music. He's a rocker. He can chicken pick. He can play acoustic. He plays jazz and blues. He does everything. And he does everything proficiently.
Well, yeah, Nashville has really become Music City as opposed to country music USA over the last decade. A number of high-profile or busy professional musicians are all based in Nashville. Like when I heard when Peter Frampton's been living there for a while and Billy Sheehan's been there for a while, I was like, these are guys that work. Just makes sense because you're more central in the country. Those fly-in dates are a lot easier when you're more centralized.
So. Jay, who's Tony Tedeschi?
I think he was saying Tommy Tedesco, but his mouth's full. Oh, I kid because I love. I don't know.
Yes. So we have a few minutes left. So what shall we talk about?
I was just thinking, do you have anything coming up music-wise on your radar in the next couple of weeks? Any visits to a music store or any friends?
Well, yeah. I mean, I always have a visit to Well Strung Guitars coming up. I have myself and my partner, the kid, Nick Amendalora, have started work on my Brad Gillis guitar.
Nice.
So I'm hoping to get that by the first of the year or so, around there. We'll see if we can find the there are a couple switches that go on the pick guard that I can't find, and a couple of stickers that I can't find, but we're looking for them.
You know, we have a line on a guy that might be able to track down some switches for you, Dave.
Yes, I think so. I think so. Yeah, we need to talk to him.
Segways and such. He's carrying some cool knobs now too. He's got some new knobs.
Yeah, I saw that. All good stuff.
Yeah. We're talking about Tessie Switch. Go to tessieswitch.com. Use a coupon code if you want.
Oh, Jay said Google him. I guess that's a real guy. All right. Tony Tedeschi, I'll check it out.
Keith somehow got timed out again.
Yeah, I wonder why. Keith is here.
Maybe Nightbot thought Keith timed him out, so when Nightbot's timeout ended, he came out with a vengeance. Jeez.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a talk with that guy.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I got some stuff coming up on the channel. A bunch of more repair upgrade work on my Reno Fin guitar. That'll be out next week. A 2-parter. Mm-hmm. Yep. And an unboxing video tomorrow.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. A plethora of stuff in a box that I'm not going to describe because then you won't watch the unboxing video. But got some cool stuff, including something from our friend Adam over at FU-Tone, fu-tone.com. And Adam is coming on my channel this Sunday.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
He's not busy hanging out with rock stars, apparently.
Well, it happens when you're a rock star yourself.
Yeah. Well, and it's all about balance. Adam knows balance, so you can't always hang out with rock stars. Sometimes he's got to slum it with some Canadian every once in a while. Mm-hmm. So we can talk about, he was hanging out with Skid Row in Nashville 2 weeks ago and hanging out with Dawkins last week. And sure.
Yeah, very cool. I do have a couple of things coming this week, or maybe at the beginning of next week. I should have some new picks coming.
Nice.
With the Guitar Town Hall name on them. And I had bought a set of heavily knurled knobs for a Telecaster that I bought them 2 weeks ago, and I got them last week. And they didn't fit on the guitar. The hole wasn't reamed out large enough for the shaft. And so I sent them back, and they were reamed out, and they're on their way back already. So I'm excited to get those.
Awesome.
And that's from Lucky Dog Guitars. They're probably the heaviest knurled knobs you could ever find. They're really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Laz is he's going to start taking Skype lessons from Mike Bradley. Well, say hello to Bradders for me. I haven't seen Mike since NAMM. Love that guy. He's a great player out of England.
Nice.
That's really cool. And I saw Leo is having a 10mm black Tessie switch installed in his Bumblebee as he speaks, and he put a silver one in his Frankie.
Oh, how cool. That's cool.
Leo says, Adam from FU-Tone is great. Always answers my harassing emails over block size, etc. I'm surprised he hasn't blocked me yet. You mean
the block man blocking the block? The block man blocking the blockhead?
Yep. Love it.
Very cool. No disrespect there, Leo. Well, listen, I don't mean to cut this short this week. It's 9:25. We'll go a little longer at our next show. Remember, we probably will not be here on Thanksgiving night next Thursday. If we do decide to go on, we will let you know way ahead of time. But I think we're going to take the week off. I'm not going to be around, or at least I don't think I'm going to be around for it. Plus, by the time
you're going to be napping by 8 p.m. after turkey dinner.
Of course, it's going to be a very rough night. My wife and my mom just got back with some rugs for Brandy so that she doesn't fall down on these hardwood floors. So I'm going to help install them. And Ben, I apologize for leaving early. Guys and girls in the chat, thank you so much.
Thanks for 4 minutes isn't a big deal unless you're hanging with your girlfriend, Dave.
Yeah, I know that. Thanks for indulging us as always. Again, I apologize for saying goodnight a little early, but this is kind of important. My dog is one of the most important things in my life. So we will see you in 2 weeks, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everybody. We will see you soon. Ben, take care, buddy.
Cheers, folks. Happy Thanksgiving.